I love when I add a die and then the D20 says, no, you thought that you were gonna get away with 3 or 4 prompts, but no, that's not what's happening here. Hello friends, hi, my name is Katie, I'm a Marshwiggle, and welcome to my channel. Let's get to what I read in the month of January, and I have some good news. I did it. I read all my prompts. For my first roll in January, I got a science fiction prompt. I read Only Human by Sylvain Neuvel. For my second roll, I got a purple flower, and purple flower means that I read a fantasy novel. So I read Entranced by the Basilisks by Lillian Lark. For my third roll, I got a yellow flower, and yellow flowers means play, poetry. I read Sorrow by Claribel Alegria. For my fourth roll, I got a TBR card, and for the TBR card, I had to read a 5-star prediction. And so I read the 8th volume of Spy Family by Tatsuya Endo. And last but not least, I got a TBR card at the end, which I always do, and I read a Goodreads award winner. I read I Am Quiet by Andy Powers and Betsy Peterson. I read all my prompts. You know what that means. Time to pick a reward. Not looking. Extra dice. I get to roll a D6. I know it's wrong, okay? I know. It's a D6. I get to add an extra die to my rolls. Awesome. I think that's everything. Let's start playing. This is roll number 1. And that's a 1 and a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Purple flower. Roll number 1. We got a purple flower. Not a big number, but that's okay. This book has been on my radar for at least a year. I honestly can't remember anymore at this point. I am going to read Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I do not know anything about this novel except it's a sapphic romance. It is fantastical, obviously, because there's like an orc and a demon on the cover. And I believe this is about 2 women who work in a cafe in a fantasy world, and they fall in love, and cozy, low stake, good times are to be had by all. I have not heard anything negative about this book. Everybody who reads this book raves about it. They love it. They want more of it. I'm very excited. I have a physical copy, but I honestly might pick this up on audiobook as well. I'm not really sure yet. But for my first prompt, this is what I'm going to read. Let's go to the next roll. This is roll number 2. 19 plus 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,
21. That means that we pull a TBR card. A January, February, or March publication. Before we get into it, yes, you're right. I did change my TBR cards. They are plain at the moment. I'm gonna figure out a way to beautify the back. These are a work in progress right now, but honestly, I just needed to refresh these because the theme I had with my previous ones just was not working for the aesthetics of the game. With that said, I got a January, February, or March publication, and this is any book that has been published in the month of January, February, or March. Pretty simple. And this turned out great because I have already pre-ordered the 5th volume of the Adventure Zone graphic novel series. I've talked about this book series before, but this is one of the books that I'm most excited to read this year. This is on my 12 books to read in 2023 list. I'm so excited. Can't wait to read this. Let's go on to the next roll. This is roll number 3. That's a 5 and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a succulent. Roll number 3 is a succulent. And succulent means I read a horror novel, or in this case, a collection of short stories. I'm gonna read this collection of short stories called Cursed Bunny by Bora Chung. This book honestly just came on my radar. I don't know a lot about it. I'm always looking for new excuses to read translated works, specifically translated works by women. So I'm looking forward to this. I don't know anything about this book except it's a collection of short stories. They're horrific or grotesque in some way, and this has been translated from another language. That's it. That's all I know. But I don't care. I don't need to know anything else because look at the cover. I think short stories are so perfect for reading right before bed because you could read 1 or 2 of them and then be done, go to bed. You're not, like, oh, I need to know what happens next, and then you lose sleep. You can just read 1 or 2. They're self-contained stories. You get the whole story, and then you can move on and you can go to sleep. So I am reading Cursed Bunny by Bora Chung. I think this is going to be really good. Let's go on to the next roll. This is roll number 4. That's a 1 and a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Orange flower. I got an orange flower, which is a science fiction prompt, and I'm going to read On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden. This is also a sapphic romance, so this is the second sapphic romance I got going on this month. Woohoo! If the graphic novel canon is a thing that does exist in the world, this is definitely on that canon. And the fact that I haven't read it yet is just something that I think I need to do. Like I said before, I think when you enter a genre, it is valuable to read the big hitters of the genre. And I have seen this book everywhere. Every time someone talks about graphic novels on the internet, On a Sunbeam comes up some way or another. So I would really like to know what the fuss is about, and that's why I'm going to pick this up for my science fiction prompt for this month. Again, don't know anything about this novel except that it's a sapphic romance and it takes place in space. I don't know if you can tell or not, but that's space. Other than that, don't have anything else to say. Let's go on to the next roll. This is roll number 5. That's a 14 and, nope, that's a 14 and a 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
17. So for my 5th roll, I got a red flower, pink flower, doesn't really matter. But that means I read a romance. So I decided I'm going to continue with the Wicked Villains series by Katie Robert, and I'm going to read Learn My Lesson by Katie Robert. I have access to the audiobook of this, I'm pretty sure, through Scribd, and I'm just gonna give this a shot. I have to be really honest, I did not care for the first one. I have heard from other people that books in this series are either a hit or a miss for everybody. Either you really love the characters and you're super into the kinks and all that other stuff, or you're just not, and it's not for you. If you don't know, Katie Robert is an erotica author. She's written tons of erotica novels and novellas, short stories, all that good stuff. And personally, I can say the same thing. I have given 5 stars to some of her books, and I've given some of her books 2 or 3 stars. So I am nervous, but I know this is going to be short, and it also has, a little something going on that I think is going to keep my attention. If you don't know, the Wicked Villain series is basically retellings of Disney movies, but for adults. I don't think there's anything else to say. Let's go on to the next roll. This is roll number 6. And that's 23, and that brings us all the way to the end. And we get to pull one more TBR card. Something that has a rural setting. Thank God I added that extra die, because it would have been a bloodbath if we had not. So last prompt, I always end with a TBR card, and this is no different. We are going to read something with a rural setting. I got this prompt in November, and for that prompt, I actually chose Into the Riverlands by Nevo. I'm going to do it again because Into the Riverlands is one of the books that I put on my list of things that I wanted to read in 2023. This is a novella series about this non-binary monk and their talking bird companion, and they just go around this amazing, fantastical, beautiful world and collect stories. That's it. That's all they do. It's lovely. It's delightful. Thank you so much for watching this video. Well, friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and have a great day. Bye.